Okay, good morning, everybody. Hope everybody's well. Happy Thursday. Happy Tuesday. For those that are coming in live, for those that are any other day of the week, thanks so much for tuning in. We are coming at you here live from Spring Valley, New York. We are in a hotel here, but we're not missing the boost. If we can control it, we're not missing the boost. Just got to get rolling over here and waiting for Andy. Just if there's something that I need here, Andy, let me know if the sound's okay, and you just jump right in. Okay, good. Andy says all good. We're all good. So thank you, everybody. I'm sorry for the background, and thanks for tuning in today. We've been talking about this idea of sacrifice. For the Muncie people, hold on. Before we get there, I want to just dedicate the show to somebody. I'm going to try to get that as we do this here. We've been talking a lot about this idea of sacrifice. Give me 1 second, everybody. Apologize. I just want to make sure I get this dedication correctly. This came in yesterday. Here it is. It's to Masadi Bat Yehuda. It's the yard site today. May her soul have the proper aliyah. We've been talking about sacrifice and what that means and how important it is. One of the things that's critical in this game is the recognition that we don't sacrifice for other people. Now, this is important because it seems like it's not the case. It seems like it's exactly what we're doing. That when we are being asked to sacrifice, we are being asked to sacrifice for other people. And it's true. We have to sacrifice for other people. And in fact, that is how we need to see it. It's not sacrifice really at the level if it's for us. There's a level of sacrifice that you do when it's self-interested, right? You go to the gym and you want to look a certain way, so you sacrifice your well-being, if you will. You sacrifice your desire for comfort and pleasure in order to go to the gym. But in that case, really, you're doing it for yourself. So it's still sacrifice. But what we're talking about right now is the idea of giving. And when you're at a level of being a giver, you're going to be in the world of being sacrificing. And sacrificing is the ability to give to somebody else beyond yourself. And when you do that, because you can't see the result, you're going to be at a place where it feels very much that you're getting less of yourself. You had something, you gave it away. With common sense, you gave it away. You didn't even get the proper appreciation for it. So now it looks like you got nothing. You had something, you now don't have that thing, and the appreciation that you were trying to get, you don't get that either. And so in our mind's eye, in the perspective that we have, it looks like we now are worse off. That's what sacrifice is. It's the ability to be willing to be worse off in pursuit of something greater than yourself. And when you get to that level, what's happening is the pain that you feel, whether it's losing a few dollars or losing a few hours, or losing some sleep, or not eating for a little bit, or much, much worse, the pain that you get is actually the feeling of mediocrity leaving your system. That's what it's like. I was on the phone a couple of days ago with a great individual who runs a program for former soldiers. So we were talking about it, and he was explaining to me the pain of a former soldier. When someone's a soldier, especially a commando, but all soldiers, if you're a soldier because like you need a place to go, or you want to get out of the way, or your house is dysfunctional, okay, that's great, and you're sacrificing for our people, and we appreciate your service. If you're a soldier and in your tour of duty, you really believe in what you're doing. When you leave the army, it becomes nearly impossible to go back. The greatest toll, he explained to me, that took place is the toll of soldiers, because once they start to get in the place of sacrificing for a cause that is so much greater than themselves, there's really nothing else that can connect to that level of meaning. When they come back, they're super motivated to make money, and they're super motivated to continue living, and they appreciate waking up in the morning and not having to face fear and threat, and they're more comfortable, and life is much easier and better for them. But what they're missing is that ability to be connected to such depth and meaning. And the depth and the meaning that they feel only came because of their sacrifice. So what happens is as they get to a place where they start to sacrifice and they start to understand that there's something greater than themselves, they don't have to be in battle. They may never see battle. That's not what they're after. What they're after is the feeling of waking up every morning and sacrificing for something that they believe in. When they go to bed at night, they're exhausted for a cause. And as they start to sacrifice their own comforts and pleasures for a cause greater than themselves, they connect to a cause. And when you connect to a cause as great as a country, it's hard to go back. It's hard to go back. Yeah. Sister Jill just jumped in, and she's right. When you go on a trip that's immersive, like the momentum trips that we run, and you're uncomfortable and it's vulnerable, and you do stuff that you never thought you'd do before, and you start to connect to something more, it's hard to go back. A lot of parents suffer from this as the kids get older. I know a lot of moms say that there's something missing as soon as the kids turn around and go, "No, Mom, we're good. We got this." Like, no, we're good. Like, Mom's like, "What? What do you mean you're good? You need me." While they're going through it, it was super difficult. But as soon as they realize no one needs them anymore, it's hard. What sacrifice does for us is it starts to connect us to meaningful things. And it starts to bring something into our lives that is even greater than our comforts and our pleasures. It brings real meaning into our lives. Right? And let's just delve a little bit further into this. In fact, the way you invest in meaningful things is through sacrifice. Because the sacrifice is the brain's way of needing to upgrade their entire value system, right? If your brain is built to survive, and survival is an inherently selfish activity, it's an appropriately selfish activity, but it's an inherently selfish activity. Survival cares about self. Now, it's a very good thing to care about, right? Like, survival is critical. Let's keep this one, but it's still selfish, not negatively selfish, just sort of technically selfish. If you're going to sacrifice, that means that your brain is going, hey, what are we doing? Why are we doing this for? Like, what does it have to do with me? You know people like this? We're all like this to some extent, but I know people like this that like this is their life. Every single decision is, and what does it do? How does this benefit me? Every single decision, for the most part. And how does this benefit me? They're just surviving. If you're going to get to a place where you're sacrificing for anything besides yourself, your brain now goes, wait, why are we doing this for? Like, this doesn't make sense for us. And the answer your brain has to give itself is because this thing that we're doing is more important than me. Because otherwise I wouldn't be giving me up for it, even if me is a few minutes. And the more you do it, the more your mind starts adapting to the fact that there's something out there bigger than even me. And I'm proving it because I can talk all day. And I can even give all day. But sacrificing all day, I mean, come on. That's too much. And so, really, when we think about it, the highest level of giving and sacrificing, because if we're only at a place of positivity, if we're only in the giving, if you will, and we don't feel any discomfort, we haven't yet reached the level in which ourselves, our minds are saying, I'm willing to put something beyond me as a value above me. And that transition of putting something beyond me as a value greater than me is the stretch that takes place in our soul that brings meaning to our lives. If you want to understand how meaning comes to your life, if you just think it through in your life right now, the things that are the most meaningful to you, the things that you care the most about, the things that you are the most proud of, go across the board. Friends, family, career, spirituality, just go across the board. If you look at the things that you are the most proud of, that bring you the most real meaning, they're the things that you've sacrificed for. Because as you're sacrificing for something beyond yourself, you are now bringing that as something past yourself, and your soul is stretching. Because your body ain't doing it, your body's sacrificing. The muscles, if you will, the inherent potential within the physical muscles is the soul, so to speak, stretching. And as that soul stretches, you are becoming bigger. That's where the meaning lies. The meaning, if you can almost picture it, lies in between the stretching of your physical muscles into the areas that bring you the most meaning and purpose. That's why you'll watch players cry on the sidelines. These are the toughest dudes that you could find. 2 minutes ago, this 250-pound bound of muscle just circled around somebody and tackled another person. 2 minutes later, that same guy who has like war paint on his face that almost ripped off the head of another human being in the middle of the game is sobbing. Why? Because to him, football was more than just a sport. The fans are watching it, but he sacrificed for it. Well beyond just training for the game. And now as he sees it slip away, whether it's in a season or in his career, he's connected to it. Now you got to figure out what you want to be at your value proposition. It could be sports. It could be something a lot bigger. But that's really how you get it. It's really how you get it. You get it when you're ready, when you're willing. And the only way we're willing is when we do it slowly, slowly. When it becomes a part of our lives. When it becomes normal. Like I said the other day, it's hard, honestly, because we're living in a world that seems to be doing everything against it. As the world develops and comfort becomes a commodity, sacrifice becomes even more abnormal in the normal day of life, right? I know, and I'm sure many of you that are listening now know people. This is their life. I know people like this. My parents are like this. My grandparents are like this. This is what they know. They know sacrifice. Like, this is what they know. They work. Like, my father works. He doesn't know comfort. My mother doesn't know comfort. This generation and the generation before them, they don't know what that word means. They don't look forward to slowing down. They just work. And even when they were younger, maybe as they get older, it's different, but when they're younger, this was the world back then. The world back then, they had a certain way. They had a certain approach towards life that includes sacrifice. It looks like today's world is not the same. It looks like today's world, there's a larger emphasis on relaxing and comfort. And that's all good at times. But the most meaning we have are the days in which we sacrifice for things that are beyond ourselves. And until we see that as a value into itself, it's going to hold us back. Like I was saying the other day about the salad bar. As soon as you start seeing that salad tastes better than hot dogs, it's over. As soon as you reach for it, you don't have to always go to the salad bar after having to lose weight, feeling bad about yourself, and then going through a resolution and then forcing yourself to the salad bar as you look lovingly over the counter to the cheesecake and wish that you had a metabolism that was fast enough so that you can consume all the fat and calories that can stick into one little slice of cake. As soon as you look at the salad bar and go, no, this actually is where I want to be. Until we get there, we're never going to really be healthy. We're just seesaw between too much weight, too little weight, too much weight, too little weight. Until we start to get this, until we start to wake up in the morning and value micro sacrifice. Let's not get to macro sacrifice. That's going to be huge. We'll start valuing micro sacrifice. We start valuing ways that I can push myself, ways that I can just the way a weightlifter walks into a gym and gets under a bench and the trainer looks at him and goes, dude, give me 15. He does 15. He looks at his trainer and he says, nah, I was able to get those up pretty quickly. Let's do 20. That feeling of I'm in the gym for 2 hours. I am a weightlifter. This is what I do for a living. If I don't push my muscles, I'm not going to gain the muscles that I need to achieve whatever goals I need to achieve. If it doesn't hurt, I didn't do enough. This is what I am doing. So I got the 15 trainer, but it's not enough. Until me and you wake up in the morning and look at our days and saying, this is what I do for a living. I am looking for meaning. I want to live a purpose-driven life. I want to be a person that achieves real, meaningful goals in my life. I don't know how to do that. Life is complex. Let me tell you one constant that I need to do all the time. I got to give, but it's more than giving. I got to sacrifice. That means I have to look for ways to be vulnerable for things that are important. It means I got to look for ways to go beyond myself daily. That means if I sent an email in gratitude of somebody else and the feeling was great, I'm not done. I didn't check it off my list. This is what I do. I'm sitting at my desk. It's 12 o'clock. I haven't pushed myself for the past X hours. How long have I been up for? Am I going to go a day and not push myself? Am I going to be in the gym called life and have not sweated once today? Just because it's Sunday, just because it's a vacation day, just because my boss is out today, just because I got enough money in my bank, just because my kids are taken care of, just because there's no war going on, just because we've got a day of maybe relaxation between bad COVID news to more bad COVID news. Like, am I off? Off from what? This is my one life. This is my one shot. If I can breathe today and I'm healthy today, I got a day. What can I do today? Push myself a drop. It's been 6 hours. Right. Rob is suggesting, for those who are listening here, just letting you know, Rob has just suggested we all move down to Florida. It's a different world than up here. This is the point. The point that I'm getting at for us is that when we get to a level where we look in the morning, I don't talk about macro sacrificing. That's going to be hard. That's like advanced stuff. You don't go to the gym and start lifting weights that are like 10 times heavier than you can lift. You're going to end up ripping something and going back home. Don't do that. Talk about micro sacrificing. Right, or Israel. Micro sacrificing. That's waking up in the morning and going, what am I going to do today to push myself? That's writing down a task list every single day and trying to put the 4 hardest things at the top and looking at that list that you keep on pushing off and you keep on kicking it down the can and going, I'm doing it first. That means looking at the people in your lives and never saying, I'm going to regret it. That's the value of sacrificing. If it's for the right cause, it is the surest way that we know we're living meaningful lives. And if you believe in something, family, spirituality, country, whatever you believe in, if you believe in it, but you're not willing to sacrifice for it, then we need to upgrade our belief systems and start seeing the value of sacrificing. Because when you sacrifice more and more, you start to live with your soul, because your soul is infinite. Your body is finite. Your body says, don't do it. Your soul goes, come on. Your body says, we're going to die. Your soul says, oh, stop it. You're not going to die. Your body says, don't pick up the phone. Your soul says, what are you waiting for? Your soul is your greatest cheerleader. God every day is begging us, be great. Be great. Live today as if this was your last, with common sense, obviously. And it happens when we start to realize that there's something valuable just in the sacrifice itself. All right, we'll continue. We'll start to get a little bit underneath this. Tomorrow maybe we'll talk about even how to do it. But until then, I want you to, if you do something hard today, not super hard, just hard. If you sacrifice something, and when you do, identify that pain. Like we said yesterday, we'll keep on saying a little bit more until we get it. Just feel the mediocrity leaving your system until one day you wake up and like you're hungry for it. When you're hungry for sacrificing in life, that's the greatest indication that we're living at a pro level. All right. Thanks so much for tuning in. Regards from those of you who grew up, live anywhere near the Spring Valley area. And with God's help, can't wait to see you back in normal situations tomorrow morning. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.